What is up, everybody? It is officially launch day, and we're trying to get this camera working in the right spot. But anyway, what's up, everyone? I am so hyped. It's been all summer long. We've been working on this. Welcome to Neutral Zone Reaction. It is go time. I'm Jules Bergman. My cousin over there, my co-host, is Brady Hannon. And this is Neutral Zone Reaction. Let's go.
Yeah, so this season we're talking NFL, college, and then today on the docket we got our hot takes, we got our awards, we got Vic's picks with our grandpa. You ready?
I'm ready, of course. Let's get right into hot takes. One sec. Oh, that did not help.
Pending the camera.
Sorry, fellas.
He does all this work. He doesn't know how to arrange a camera. Okay.
All right, here we go. So
I'm starting because you're going to hate this pick.
Hot take hour. It's time. What you got for me, Brady?
All right. Lamar Jackson this season is going to play himself into the MVP conversation by Thanksgiving.
Are you serious right now?
And I'm dead serious.
Come on.
Do you have a problem with that? What's your problem with that?
Lamar is really good. I don't see him winning MVP this year.
You don't think he's going to play himself into the conversation?
By November?
He wants money, dude. He's already in the conversation. He's top 10 in betting lines.
I mean, that's fine, but at the same time, like, It's the Ravens. He's already won an MVP. He's got to have the same
Who
season.
cares? Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. Who cares?
He's got to have the same exact season as that to win MVP, and I don't know if that's happening anytime soon. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Think about it this way. He's hungrier, contract year. He's more experienced. 2 years, 3 years ago, he won MVP. Way more experience now. Like, he's going to be a better player than he was 3 years ago. So I don't see why we don't think he's going to go off. Like, people forget, he was in the MVP conversation before he got hurt last year. And then the Ravens lost without him. And people thought Tyler Huntley was Lamar because he's a clone of him. But they lost with Tyler Huntley, not Lamar. And everyone's like, oh, no, Lamar sucks.
I don't think he sucks, but I don't see him. There's too
Everyone
many
hates on
other
him.
teams this year that I like more than the Ravens.
It's not about the MVP is an individual award. Why do you think Rodgers wins it then chokes in the playoff every year?
How is Lamar winning MVP with that receiving core? Tell me that right now.
Because
who's he got? He's got Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, and he's got Mark Andrews. He's got that new tight end Isaiah Likely. He's got a power running game. He's got his legs. He's got a good O-line. He's got everything he needs.
I don't think he's got enough around him this year. If he's still at Hollywood, maybe. Because then you at least got a passing game. But if they scheme around, if you're playing the Ravens, you scheme around Mark Andrews, you scheme around the run game, and you can at least contain them enough. It's not going to be an all-out insanity like Lamar 3 years ago.
Lamar. Lamar's a 4.3 speed quarterback with the best agility in the league. There is no containing Lamar. That's the problem.
I don't know.
When he goes off, you can't stop him.
I'm not so sure about that MVP pick.
Well, okay, you're wrong. What's your hot take?
My biggest hot take of the season, I know you've been waiting all summer. The Minnesota Vikings will go to the NFC Championship game.
This is the most casual fan thing ever. Every single sports show is like, the Vikings are going to be good.
Connor Jones knows what's up. I see you in the chat. Lamar MVP is a horrid take. Damn right, Connor. Yeah. So the Vikings are going to be insane this year. And here, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Kevin McConnell is going to bring something to this offense that they have never seen in the entire Mike Zimmer era. You've got Justin Jefferson. You've got Dalvin Cook. You've got Thielen. You've got Kirk, who has won playoff games before. Even though he sucks in primetime, he has won playoff games. And
he has won a playoff game. Don't make that plural.
I'm pretty sure he's won 2, actually. As a 6th seed both times.
12 years.
But either way, Justin Jefferson has been talking all summer long about, oh man, I am open all the time in this offense. It is the perfect fit for me. If you're in fantasy drafts with me, you already know I'm all over Justin Jefferson this year. I don't see that offense being stopped. And not only that,
it's not about the offense. The offense was good last year.
The offense was not great last year. The offense was
It was above average.
I think you can't just look at the offense, though. First off, the NFC North has never been more vulnerable than this year. There's no Devontae Adams. Who the hell is Aaron Rodgers going to throw to? The Packers are not as great as they were last year. And one of the Packers' pass rushers, Zadarius Smith, guess where he's at now? He's a Minnesota Viking. They've got veteran presence on defense. They've got Harrison Smith. They got Eric Kendricks. They got Patrick Peterson. Daniil Hunter is finally healthy going into the season. I think they have a real shot to be one of the best 2 teams in the NFC this year.
You sound like every single radio talk show host out there. I'm so disappointed.
All right. Well, what is your second hot take?
Well, it's more original than yours.
Okay.
This is contrary to popular belief. I think that Colts are going to be worse off this year with Matt Ryan than they were with Carson Wentz.
Really? Okay.
I don't think it's that far-fetched.
I don't think...
Wait, Carson Wentz... Everyone dogs on Carson Wentz. He had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's not great. He's not 2017 MVP Carson Wentz. But what's Matt Ryan, dude? When's the last time Matt Ryan won more than 6 games in a season?
I mean, it was a few years ago, but you also have to look at the fact that the Falcons' defense at that time was absolutely putrid.
But, I mean, look at all the other quarterbacks in this league and tell me, who's Matt Ryan better than? I don't know if he's in the top half of quarterbacks in the AFC. I don't know if he's a top 10 quarterback in the AFC.
I agree with you that I wouldn't say he's a top half quarterback right now, but I do think he brings more to that Colts offense than they had with Carson Wentz.
What does he bring that Carson Wentz doesn't have?
He's more accurate. He's a better decision maker.
Yeah, but can he stretch the field? Can he make plays with his legs? Can he provide that spark when they need it?
They don't need a spark though. They just need a competent offense, which half the season
Yeah, and who's he throwing
Carson
to?
Wentz couldn't do that last year. I
Okay,
agree
but
with you. I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference, but
I think they're gonna be worse.
I think they're still going to be a little better. I think Matt Ryan is an upgrade to Wentz.
Matt Ryan's not an upgrade. Okay, if I don't, you're wrong. But
Okay, love to hear that.
like, who's Matt Ryan throwing to, dude? He's got Michael Pittman, who's an unproven
He's got Alec
third-round
Pierce
pick.
too.
Alec Pierce is a rookie from Cincinnati.
Hey, I've heard good things about Alec Pierce through the preseason.
I've
so
heard good
far.
things about him too, but Alex Pierce is not Julio Jones, okay?
Okay, well, it once again,
Like,
Wentz was capable last year at least with
Matt Ryan was good when Julio Jones was in his absolute prime. And now he's got Michael Pittman as his number one
It's
receiver.
fair enough. I'm not saying
Who I think is a good
Matt
fantasy
Ryan's
player.
going to be great. I wouldn't agree with you thinking he's going to be worse than Wentz for the Colts.
But Wentz was good with the Colts. He had one bad game.
He had more than one bad game. Let's just say that.
People dog on Carson Wentz too much just because he's like, I don't know.
All right, you want to hear what else I got?
Yeah.
I think that for the first
That'd be
time
good.
in like at least the last 7 years or so, the NFC East is going to be decided by week 15. There will be no absurdities at the end of the year of the Eagles and Giants tying or whatever that happened a few years ago.
So who wins?
Who wins? The Philadelphia Eagles
Who wins?
easily.
Who gets second?
The Cowboys will get second. Here's the deal. The Giants and the what's their name? The Commanders. Almost said the Redskins.
Yeah.
The Commanders
Good job, Jules.
are
Nice recovery. Nice recovery.
those teams are so bad. I mean, I could see the Giants getting the first overall pick. I could see the Commanders getting the first overall pick. They have completely fallen off a cliff. Watching that offense last year was just disastrous. But here's the deal. The Eagles got so much better over the offseason. You get A.J. Brown, you get James Bradbury, you get Jordan Davis, you get Nakobe Dean in the draft as well. They've got a lot more pieces, and I think that in second year, next year, in Nick Sirianni's second year, I see the Eagles flying high. I don't think they're gonna lose to many teams this year.
Okay, but you think it's going to be decided by week 15?
I do. I think they're gonna run away with it. Actually,
You think so? What do you think the Cowboys are going to do? Dude, the Cowboys aren't just going to disappear. They're going to be an above 500 team.
I think the Cowboys are gonna be worse than last year actually, because unlike the
Yeah, but they were
Eagles,
12 and
they
5
spent the
last
whole
year,
offseason losing guys.
Yeah, but they went 12-5 last year. They weren't like a bad team. They were better than the Eagles last year. They got worse. The Eagles got better.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
not
the
gonna be
opposite.
that much
I
different
think the
this year.
opposite's gonna happen this year. I think that
Yeah, so
the Cowboys
that doesn't mean the division's going to be decided when there's still buys happening.
The Cowboys lost Amari Cooper. They've got injury-prone guys all over that offense. CD missed a game or two, a few games last year. Ezekiel Elliott, you never know how many games he'll play. And Dak's been hurt before. Dak hasn't played a full season in like 3 or 4 years.
He
And
played a
then
full
on
season last
defense,
year.
they lost Randy Gregory
no,
as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, but the Cowboys on defense have younger players getting more snaps. Trayvon Diggs, who's half toast, half a pick six. They got Micah Parsons, who's a beast.
Micah Parsons is an
the Cowboys are
absolute
gonna be
beast.
fine.
But Trayvon Diggs is
Keanu-
not going to have the same year as last year. I think he's going to be, as you said, toasted almost every game.
He's still a playmaker, though. He's still going to make plays. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be that far behind the Eagles. I don't buy it.
I don't know. I think they will be.
All right.
What's your final hot take for the day?
I don't know if you'll disagree, but I think Daniel Jones gets benched before Thanksgiving.
I actually had the same thing as my like backup hot take for the day. Yeah,
I don't think it's a hard decision.
I think he's gonna be out of there by week 6 or 7.
I mean,
It might
I
be
think
way
he's
before
gonna.
Thanksgiving.
They're going to be averaging 12 points a game by week 6. Daniel Jones is going to be like on his back, like crying in warmups. I mean, It's going to be a sad scene in New York. I don't know if they're going to start Tyrod or trade for Jimmy G or get Joe Flacco in there. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's
But
gonna
they
be
need to do
rough.
something. It's going to be rough.
All right, I got one more for you before we move on. I think
Oh,
this
boy.
one might be one of the hotter ones that you haven't heard yet. But
You say that about every single one of your
yeah,
takes,
fair enough.
Jules.
I
Like every single one.
as much as we
Your
have
ego is way too high, but keep
as
going.
much as we have talked down on the New York Giants, I
They
think
suck.
the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have the first overall pick for the third season in a row.
You can't be serious. You cannot be serious.
I am serious.
You're not. You cannot be. That can't be a real take. You think with a Super Bowl winning head coach, first overall pick in his second year, not a loaded but an expensive offensive core, upgraded O line, upgraded defense, above average defensive front, young and hungry team that's desperate to get away from Urban Meyer with a real
Young and
coach.
hungry.
You think they're going to be the worst in the league in a bad division? In a bad division.
They can be in a
The
bad
best quarterback
division
in the
all they
division is
want.
arguably Matt Ryan.
If you can be in a bad division all you want, they are still the worst team in that division. They are the worst, probably the worst team in the
You think they're
AFC.
worse than the Texans?
When I look at all the other bad teams in the AFC last year, if you look at every fourth place team, the Jets, they've gotten much better over the offseason. I don't think they'll be
The
good,
Jets
but
are overhyped.
they've
The Jets are
improved.
going to be meh.
The Jets have improved more than the Jaguars have in the offseason.
The Jaguars have enough talent and firepower to win games. The Jaguars are not going to be the worst team in the league.
I think
I
that
think they might have a
aside
top 10
from
pick. They're not going to have the first pick.
if you look at the Jaguars roster right now, aside from Travis Etienne, who is scoring points on that team?
Okay. Everyone's hating on the Christian Kirk contract, which is terrible, but he's going to score. He's above average receiver.
He is an
He's going to get the
average
ball.
receiver.
They have Marvin Jones.
Okay. Average or below average.
They have James Robinson.
Average or below average. He's not even starting.
James Robinson. Yeah, but he's going to be playing.
He's not a playmaker, though.
On that team.
The Jaguars will
Yes,
not
he
be
is.
scoring enough touchdowns to make up for how many their defense will allow. Their defense is still garbage. They
but
took a
you
guy
forget that
first
Doug
overall
Peterson's-
who most people had in the middle of the first round.
Okay, but that's not the point. The point here is they have a real coach now. They haven't had a real coach. I couldn't tell you when they had a real coach.
Doug Marrone in like Saxonville in 2018. But
yeah, and he got fired after they were lit on fire, literally. But dude, Doug Peterson's not Urban Meyer. You're thinking of the Urban Meyer Jaguars. That's a totally different team. That's like the Matt Nagy Bears, dude.
well, Urban Meyer
It's
was only
literally
there
a
a year.
very
They were
tired
pretty
fire.
bad 2 years ago too. I don't know. I don't think a team has ever had the first overall pick 3 years in a row. But if that ever happened, this Jaguars team, I don't think they really improved in the offseason very much.
They definitely
They
improved.
could very much be in the
Not
running
really.
for Will Anderson first overall next year.
They upgraded at running back with getting ETM back. They upgraded receiver. They upgraded tight end. They upgraded at coaching times a trillion.
Just really
They upgraded
mid
O-line. They
upgrades
upgraded
though.
pass rusher.
Really
Yeah,
mid
but upgrades are
upgrades.
upgrades. They're going to be better. I'm not arguing they're going to be a playoff team or a wild card team or probably even 500, but they're going to win games.
I don't know.
Like-
We'll see
Like
about
Doug
that.
Peterson's a good coach, dude.
All right, let's move on to some of our award picks. You already said you've got Lamar for MVP.
No. I said Lamar was going to be in the running.
Oh, in the
for MVP.
running.
I said he was going to.
So who's your MVP pick then?
Who's yours?
Mine is Josh Allen. I think that Josh Allen and the Bills break the streak since 1999 Kurt Warner. I think they break the streak of MVPs to not win the Super Bowl this year. Josh Allen
Boy, that is. You should put that in your bold takes.
in my cold takes,
Hot takes.
I don't think it's that hot of a
Yeah.
take. Everyone has the Bills winning the Super Bowl this year, it seems.
So you're telling me you're picking the Super Bowl team and the MVP.
Yes.
And you're saying that's not a hot take before the season has started.
I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think that Josh Allen has already
you gotta turn down
cemented
your ego.
himself.
Okay. Well, my pick is Justin Herbert because Josh Allen has a new coordinator. I think they're going to start a little slow this year. I think that's very reasonable to assume. I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler. I think the Bills are going to go deep in the playoffs. Maybe they'll get to the Super Bowl. However, Justin Herbert has surpassed Dan Marino's records for passing yards, touchdowns, all these amazing stats in his first 2 seasons. He's getting better. They have an upgraded O-line this year. They have They still have the same skill pieces they have. They have Keenan Allen, all pro level, Austin Eckler, all pro level, especially as a pass catcher. They got a smart, risky coach who's going to give Herbert opportunities to
Wait, did
shine.
you just say a
They're from
smart,
LA.
risky coach?
Yeah.
Smart? You're telling me Brandon Staley is a smart coach after what we saw
You
last year?
you don't become the head coach of an NFL team if you're not
Oh,
smart.
give me a break. I'm not saying
And
like dumb and smart. I'm saying like he is not a good decision maker in the NFL. You can't be going for 4th and 6 from your your own 20-yard line.
I think he's a good coach, but I'm not going to argue that with you right
I'd
now.
say that's a hotter take than Josh Allen to win MVP and the Super Bowl.
That
Brandon Staley is a good NFL coach. He has proven nothing except that he goes for it on every 4th down and led a very talented team to still miss the playoffs.
Okay, that's his first year, so you got to chill. But Justin Herbert, I think it's reasonable to assume that he throws for 45 touchdowns and 5,500 yards this year. I don't even think that's a reach.
I also think that's reasonable. Justin Herbert's my second pick for MVP behind Josh Allen.
He says that now after my case.
Oh, I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying I disagree with the Brandon Staley part.
Who's your offensive player of the year?
Offensive player or offensive rookie of the year?
Player. I think we're going to agree on this.
Justin Jefferson.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Defense?
as it should be.
As it should be. There's no debate there.
How about offensive rookie?
I got a curveball here. I think Dameon Pierce.
Oh, you got Dameon Pierce?
Bro, he's going to get a huge workload. I think it's like a Philip Lindsay situation from a few years ago.
Well, Philip Lindsay didn't win it. Did Philip Lindsay win it?
No, but that's because Philip Lindsay lost to, I think it was
Kyler?
Whoever was the quarterback.
Probably Kyler.
Yeah, it was Kyler. But there's no number 1 overall quarterback this year.
You're right. There's no. I don't
You're
think
telling me
Malik
Willis or Desmond Ridder or Kenny Pickett is Kyler Murray. I'm gonna end the call. But I mean, like, I think it's a good pick. Like, he's gonna get a huge workload in that offense. He's gonna be the focal point of that offense. They're gonna help Davis Mills out. I think Lovie Smith is an old school pound the ball coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think statistically, I think he's going to be great. I think talent-wise, he's really good.
I agree with that. I don't think that's a bad pick. I
got him in my fantasy league the other week, which was a steal. Like, all signs are pointing out for Dameon Pierce right now. I like him.
That's an all right pick. I think there's.
Wow, I got an all right from Jules.
That's an all right pick.
Hey,
you should take an all right pick from. You should take a that's all right from me, considering I usually completely disagree.
You dog on my picks because you don't know what you're talking about. All right. I think that hat's squeezing your head too tight. What do you think for offensive rookie of the year? It definitely is.
All right. Well, here's who I've got for offensive rookie of the year. I've been riding the Bills a little bit. I'm gonna say it's James Cook. I think that man could have.
Dude, I can't take you seriously.
I think he could have a huge season, and here's why.
He's splitting carries with 2 other players.
He will split carries with Devin Singletary
the Bills don't even
for the first week. Okay, he'll split carries for the first week.
Bills literally do not run the ball.
I think James Cook takes over the starting job by week 3.
Off, dude. It's cutting off his circulation.
What?
Oh my god, you got that hat's cutting off some circulation.
Oh my gosh.
I swear. This can't be real.
I think he takes
James Cook to win it. He's like a 4th round pick.
Okay. Dameon Pierce was also like a 4th round pick.
Yeah, and then they realized he was a stud.
Okay.
The Bills
James
have not
Cook is also a stud.
Running backs.
James Cook is also a stud.
Okay, did the Bills release all their running backs? Are the Bills going to use their running back as the focal point of their offense? Is James Cook going to get more touches than Dameon Pierce? No shot.
I don't think he gets more touches. I think he gets more efficient touches. I think he is going to.
I don't care if he's down.
I think he's going to do a lot more with his touches because everyone's trying to defend the pass. And it's going to be just the greatest offense we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. But here's the deal. As you know, go to Tennessee, and we had to play Georgia last year. And James Cook absolutely ran over every team he faced, especially us. I would see him in the other SEC games just running through people with no issue. He's got Dalvin.
Yeah,
it runs in the family. You know it runs in the family that they're going to be good. Because Dalvin is already one of the best running backs in the league. James Cook is a stud. I don't think he gets as many touches as Pierce. I don't think he gets as much volume. But I think he does way more with what he gets than most other rookies are going to get. And you know what? There's a lot of rookie receivers I thought about picking Treylon Burks is my number 2 guy for rookie of the year. I think just because he is already the number 1 receiver there, unless it's
no, you can't. You just can't take this man seriously. Okay.
I think that James Cook is really gonna
Okay,
be.
my ears are bleeding. Who was your pick for defensive player of the year?
What was that?
Who's your pick for defensive player of the year?
Defensive player of the year. Also, before I get to that, what's up, everyone who's watching right now? Good to see y'all. Skip, good to see you. Frankie, good to see you. As well as Steve.
I'm sorry, you guys have to listen to Jules' face.
I'm just saying hi to everyone. God, we love our fans. Let's see. Frankie says James Cook will not be able to carve out a large enough role to steal offensive rookie of the year from a lot.
Thank you. See, that's the thing. He's splitting carries with 2 other players in an offense that's pass centric.
I don't think
he's gonna get like 5% of touches.
I don't think that the splitting carries is a big deal because he's gonna win the starting job in a couple of weeks.
Dude, I can't take you seriously.
But Frankie, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
That was my point the whole time, and you just ignored me.
I'm saying it's a fair point, but I disagree. I think that even if he doesn't get as many touches, he's going to do a lot more with those touches because the defense, you can't load the box against the Bills. You just can't do that. You've got to be ready to defend the air assault that they have, which, I mean, it would be ridiculous to get Josh Allen MVP and James Cook O'Roy, but I could see at least one of them happening. And if I have to pick a rookie, I'm still going to go with Cook for the moment. You asked about Defensive Player of the Year. I already talked down on the Cowboys, but I did say Micah Parsons is a beast. I think Micah Parsons is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year.
I picked him too, bro. If Micah Parsons if you told me at the end of the season Micah Parsons had 11 sacks, 5 interceptions, and like 120 tackles, I'd be like, okay.
Wait, you picked Parsons also? All right, cool. This may be a moment in history, fellas, that Brady and I actually agree on something.
All right, what about Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Defensive Rookie of the Year? It's going to be Sauce for me. I would have gone with Thibodeau. But... Dude,
I had the same pick.
I would have gone with Thibodeau, but he just got injured. Okay, everyone agrees with us on Micah. Okay, sweet. We're not crazy right now. But
I actually think Sauce. I picked Sauce too.
You picked Sauce too? Damn.
Yeah,
This is a 2 for 2. This never happens.
This doesn't happen. You guys are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing a rare occurrence.
A very rare occurrence in history.
Very rare occurrence.
Right, well, one of our fan questions before we move on from awards was, hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
Don't we have Vic's picks coming up in a few minutes too?
Yeah, Vic's picks coming up in just a few minutes. But before that, let's hit a couple fan questions. Now that we're speaking of awards,
dude, in a week right now, the Bears will be on by only like 10.
Our question from Hannah is: who is the most underrated player going into the season? And I think that can go along with these awards picks. But who do you have as your most underrated player going in?
Well, there's tough because there's a fine line between underrated and most hated.
Underrated and most hated. Hold on,
That's tough.
There we go. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it could be Fields.
Brady, come on now, bud.
Serious.
I love Justin Fields more than anyone. I'm literally wearing his jersey right now.
He's so hated.
But
I'm wearing a Tom Brady jersey, dude.
He's not underrated right now. We all know he's suffered from a horrible situation, but he hasn't proven himself just yet.
All right, fine. I'll take the bias out of it. I'm trying to think. Who's yours?
Mine, all right, I've got Tre'Davious White or Jair Alexander, like a tie between those two. Obviously, cornerback is the hardest position to play in the NFL. Everyone knows that. And of course, here's another pick with the whole Bills thing. But Tre'Davious White is a stud. He is insane. Skip, Josh Allen's my MVP pick. Oh, your camera's glitching space again. Sorry, folks.
Love to see it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out at some point. It's been happening all month.
All right, well.
But anyway, Jair Alexander also. He's the only where him and Aaron Rodgers are the only things that are going to keep the Packers in any game against Minnesota.
That's fair.
I mean,
What
last
do you think
year
about that weekend game? That's going to be a good game, week
it
one, dude.
is. It's
It is
it's
such a
on
good game.
Vic's picks coming up in 3 minutes. But
Right.
I mean,
Well, real quick, I think
last year the Packers and Vikings
honestly,
had that one game. I had to play in fantasy football. I had to play against a team that had Jefferson and Devontae Adams, and they put up like 60 points combined that game. It was 60 or 70 points. It was horrible.
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say probably T. Higgins.
Francesco's gonna
Dude,
love
T.
that
Higgins
pick.
gets no love. He's 6'4", fast, and an absolute stud. And all everyone talks about is Joe Burrow's sunglasses and Jamar Chase.
I mean,
So who's your comeback player of the year pick?
my comeback player of the year. Uh, it might have to be. I don't know. I haven't thought too much about this one. What's up, Jack? It might be J.K. Dobbins for me. I don't know, but I just feel
Big
like
yikes out of Baltimore.
if I'm thinking of who was injured last year,
He's been by the East Coast too much.
if
I took Derrick Henry, dude. I don't think it's that hard.
I'm not riding the Derrick Henry hype train this year, I'm really not.
What, dude? Derrick Henry's a stud, and they lost AJ Brown. They're gonna ride him.
But teams are literally just going to load the box every single play because the Titans
That's
are
what
going
they
to
do
have to
anyway.
turn to Treylon Burks on the outside.
You're obsessed. I should get you Treylon Burks.
Yeah, you should have known I was going to say that. All right,
Okay.
let's try and bring Vic in.
Oh
It
boy, this will go
is
well.
time for Vic's picks. Yes, Francesco. Brady said T. Higgins is his most underrated player in the NFL going into this season. Skype. All right. Brady, you want to entertain the audience while I'm trying to add Vic?
I don't know. I think Trey statistically is gonna have a phenomenal season, but I don't think he's ready yet. Like I've seen him in camp. I've seen clips.
No, not ready. I don't think Trey Lance is ready yet either. I know.
Like I've gone on rants and text strings about this. Trey Lance, like people are picking him to an MVP. I don't see it. Like he throws like a corkscrew, bro. He's like, like I don't know how you can complete NFL passes with that motion. To be totally honest, like I mean, I get he's good. I mean, North Dakota State's not the same speed as the NFL. North Dakota did almost beat Nebraska yesterday. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. That was
But
ridiculous.
that was a good time. I'm gonna be honest, but I think Shanahan's gonna find a way to make Trey work. I really do. But at the same time, I know you were hating on Doug Peterson and the Jags for. I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna have a good year.
Do you? I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to
What
have
is
that
happening on
very
the screen
very good
right
of a
now?
year. Sorry for all our
I
viewers.
think
This
Trevor
camera
Lawrence.
stuff is bugging out right now.
I haven't seen a ton, but in the preseason, Trevor Lawrence looks comfortable. He looks tall in the pocket. He's throwing rockets. He looks confident. He looks like Trevor Lawrence at Clemson.
All right. Trying to get Vic on the call if this decides to work at some point. All right. Until then, let's hit another fan question. Who would win in a fight from Steven? Who'd win in a fight? Aaron Donald or Myles Garrett? Oh, what is going on? Technical difficulties. Hold on one sec. We'll be back in a minute. Just one moment, folks. This Skype call just bugged out completely. And now the computer doesn't want to work. Okay, let's try this again. All right, Brady is back. Boom.
What did you do?
We're back. We're back, everybody. The show is not over.
All the haters out there thought we were done. We're back, baby.
We are back. I'm going to try and get Vic in one more time, if that's possible. Let's try this. And if not, then we're going to go into week 1 storylines if he is not able to join. Let's see. Come on, Victor.
Come on, Vic. Let's go, Vic.
Sorry, Grandpa. Grandpa things happen sometimes.
Old people and technology are a terrible combination.
We tested this and it worked, so it's not like our first try. Okay. That's not happening. So let's get back to what we were discussing earlier. Let's talk about some week 1 storylines. All right. I want to talk about Brown.
All right. Lead us off, Jules.
What?
Lead us off.
I want to talk about Browns.
Whenever you're ready, Jules.
Oh, thanks, Brady. I want to talk about the Browns game.
All right, whatever. I'll start. So I think Baker going against the Browns is a major storyline here, week 1. What do you think, Jules? Were you going to say something relative to that?
Oh, of course I was. I always have something to say, don't I?
Yeah, you pretty much always do, yes.
All right. I think – hold on. I'm trying to get your camera right real quick. There we go. All right. I think the Panthers win this game. I think Baker is absolutely out for blood, and there is no way.
Oh, I think Baker.
There is no way the Panthers do not come out with anger. I mean, McCaffrey is
I think Baker got his swag back.
We know McCaffrey is actually healthy for week 1 for like literally the first time in history. Oh, now Vic wants to FaceTime me. Hello,
Vic's
sir.
Coming back.
Well, hold on. Let's go to Vic's picks. I don't know why the Skype doesn't want to work, but now he's off FaceTime. Okay. Anyway, and now he's back.
Oh boy.
Stay on, okay? I'm gonna put you in the screen. Welcome, Victor.
Yeah.
All right. So it is time. Let me. Okay. So it is time for Vic's picks. We've got 3 games for you. We already started talking about Browns Panthers. Who do you have winning this game? I have the Browns. Carolina. Yeah, I have Carolina too. Yeah? Yeah, I agree. I've also got Mr. Mayfield. He said the other day that he's going to F him up about the Browns. And also,
he said that's not true.
It's giving me vibes of
I think Baker's back.
It's giving me Baker planting the flag against Ohio State.
Yeah, for sure. I think Baker's got his swag back. I think he's gonna ball.
Also, I just realized that the microphone's here, so they might have not heard you when you were talking. Anyway,
I cannot hear a word he said.
Oh, you couldn't hear him? All right, tell him one more time, Vic.
Not a word.
I pick Baker Mayfield to get revenge on the Cleveland
Yeah,
Browns.
Vic.
Yeah, good
I
pick.
think they're also
Yeah,
the
Vic.
favorite by
Good
about
pick.
2 or 3 points.
Yeah, I think they are as well.
Which actually
It's
surprised
a 2.5
me,
spread.
Cleveland really should have a better team,
Mm-hmm.
but not now.
They should, but Jacoby Brissett is not a quarterback one right now, I don't believe.
Yeah. All right. The second game we've got for you is the opener of the season: Bills versus the Rams on Thursday night.
I again go with the favorite. I think the Buffalo Bills last year and this year are a better team. That game that Buffalo played last year against Kansas City is crazy.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
look like a wonderful team.
You think the Bills might go to the Super Bowl this year, Vic?
I think they're going to win it.
Yeah.
And Los Angeles, they didn't really impress me that much, even though they won it last year.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Buffalo win the game.
What do you think, Brady? You got the Bills or the Rams?
I got to go with Vic here. I like the Bills.
Okay,
Made
solid.
some good points.
So we seem to agree so far.
We do agree. Brady and I actually agreed on 2 of our award picks, which you never think would actually have happened.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, I know. Another game we got is Packers-Vikings.
Here I do not go with the favorite. I just think that Green Bay's quarterback is so good, and he's lost the first game of the season a couple times recently. I don't think he's going to lose it again. I think he's going to win, and they're going to win straight up.
Dang, okay. I've got the
I've
got the Vikings in that game.
I gotta stick with Vic here. I think Rodgers is too good, and the Vikings. This is the first game with Kirk and Connell together. Kirk didn't really play in the preseason. I think they're going to come out rusty. I think the Packers got this game.
Brady's through the computer, and you're through the microphone. So, okay. So you've got the Packers. Brady's got the Packers. I've got the Vikings. The next game is Steelers and the Browns. Or not Browns. Steelers and the Bengals.
To me, as you know, I'm a diehard Bear fan. And all they've done for 70 years is disappoint me. There's a chance, I don't know whether he is or he isn't starting, but the Trubisky was in the running to start. Make me put my money on Cincinnati.
No.
I don't trust anybody involved with the Bears. And I think one of the games I was looking at was the Bear game.
Oh, really?
They're a 7-point underdog. And I would not be surprised if they made it a good game, even won. But then again, I go to 7 years of suffering, and I wouldn't put my money on it.
Fair enough.
You can never put your money for the Bears.
Yeah,
that's called charity right there.
Yeah, you can never put your money on the Bears. We'll always disappoint.
You will not get it back.
You will not get it back. Yeah.
But yeah, I like Vic's pick there. I think that the Bengals are going to run away with it.
I don't think they're going to run away with it. I think it'll be a close game. I probably would go with the Bengals still because it's going to be hard for Pittsburgh to match that offense. Ever since they've had Mr. Brown over here, they haven't had the same offense. But I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a closer game than people might think because Mitch has looked good in the preseason, and
yeah, but it's the preseason.
I know, but he's looking good in that offense, and obviously
there's fourth-string quarterbacks on the Jets looking good in the preseason duels.
Yeah, Mitch is starting, as far as we know.
That's amazing. But okay. Anthony answered it. I don't see how they can win with Mitch starting against a good team. But we'll see.
I don't either, and that is why I'm picking the Bengals. And Jules is hesitant because he's delusional. So thank you for your input, Vic.
All
we
right,
appreciate
that
it.
is Vic's picks today. We will see you next time on Vic's picks. Thank you for joining us.
Sponsored by Bestman Productions.
See ya.
Bye, Grandpa.
All right, and that will lead us to some more fan questions before we get into This Week in Vegas, which is going to be our final segment of the day. But let's talk about some more of these fan questions we've got this week. We were briefly talking about Trey Lance, but Francesco is wondering, where did the 49ers finish in the NFC West this year?
This is a toss-up, I think. Excuse me. I think they finished third. I think that the Rams run away with the division. I think that the Seahawks win 2 games. And the Cardinals, Kyler's gotten better every year. I think the Cardinals get second in that division. They're a wild card team again.
So you have the Niners at third?
I think the Niners are going to finish around 9-8. I think I have them at third in the division.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think Trey's ready. I think statistically he'll be fine, but I don't think as an NFL quarterback, with his mechanics, with his inexperience, I don't think he's ready.
I agree with you there. I mean, I actually do. I think that the 49ers are not Debo's not going to have the same year as last year. People are going to be able to game plan a little more for them this year. The defense is iffy. They'll be good, but they won't be great. And then they lost their offensive coordinator too, Mike McDaniel, I think's his name. He's in Miami now. So I don't know if
another interesting reading to this is they kept Jimmy G.
What was that?
Like, they kept Jimmy G.
Yeah, that was a little odd.
Why would they
I
do
thought
that?
They would have traded him.
Like, when the Patriots liked Mac Jones last year in the preseason before he played an NFL game, they shipped Cam Newton off to free agency. The Bears cut Nick Foles, got rid of Andy Dalton right away. The Jags didn't sign anyone. The Jets have Joe Flacco as their backup, who's not a rival, we think. And all these second-year quarterbacks. The Texans let Tyrod Taylor walk. They're running with Davis Mills. But the 49ers are keeping Jimmy G around. Is that not concerning?
Do you think it's a management move to just save their careers if Trey sucks? Because then they're like, okay, that was a mistake. We can go back to Garoppolo. Or do you think it purely was as an insurance plan of, we want him there to mentor and whatever?
I think it's a little of both. I think it's if Trey Lance is bad and they're 3-5, we can put Jimmy G in there and win games. I think it's also Jimmy G is a good guy. He's not bad to have around, but at the same time, like I said, if you are 3-5, Trey's struggling. That locker room knows Jimmy G. They love Jimmy G. They played Super Bowls with Jimmy G. Like, you think guys aren't going to turn and go to Shanahan and be like, yo, we want Jimmy G in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Like, the Niners have a Super Bowl roster. They got weapons. They got George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo. Elijah Mitchell's been going off. They got a top 8-ish O-line. They got a good defense, above average. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Robbie Gould, the Packer Slayer. Like, they should. If Trey Lance is good, they should win 12 games. I just don't think that he's going to be up to the challenge.
Oh, they're not winning 12 games in that division. No shot. Even if
no,
Trey
but that
Lance
roster
is good.
should.
Even if Trey Lance is good, they're not winning 12 games.
I think they could arguably have a better roster right now than the Rams. I think you can make the argument. Their O-line's better. The Rams are better weapon. They're better at tight end. They're slightly worse at wide receiver. Their defensive front is pretty much equal, and their defense is equal as a whole.
But I'm not so sure about that.
If you take quarterbacks, okay.
I think the Rams are significantly better than the 49ers, and it's lucky that the Niners got to the championship against them last year.
I think if you put Matthew Stafford on the 49ers, they're the Super Bowl favorite over Buffalo.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Before we get to This Week in Vegas, we have a few people saying stuff in the chat. Let's take a look. Cal says Bears Super Bowl 2023.
Okay.
In my dreams. Lions win it all.
I hope you had a good nap, Cal.
Lions win it all. That's interesting.
Who said that?
Mal Korean.
From where? Like the bottom of the ocean?
I I have no
Oh my
idea.
God.
Steve is
I don't know who
wondering
you are, Mal,
Steve
but
is wondering the meaning of our props. So here's Antonio Brown. We got Brian Urlacher from a terrible football game we went to where the Bears got inside the 10-yard line like 4 times and came up with 12 points out of it and then missed a game-winning
no, because
field
they kept
goal.
running like -5-yard swing passes to Tariq Cohen
Yeah.
because he couldn't trust Mitch to put it in the window.
Then I've got, I think that's a Matt Forte signed helmet. Then a picture of us at training camp because, bear down. Aiden Hutchinson better. Aiden Hutchinson is all right. He's nothing crazy. I would have rather had the other previous number 2 overall picks like Chase Young and I don't know, whatever guys have gone 2 overall in the past.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Hutchinson guy. I don't know how. I would have rather had Kayvon Thibodeau. Anyway, Brady.
Yeah, well, if anyone's asking for me, I got Russell Wilson up here from when he was on the Seahawks. Got Calvin Johnson up there. It's hard to see. Then we got a football and a Hall of Fame helmet represent the level of our podcast. And yeah, I think that's fair. That's all I got.
We're Hall of Fame status, of course.
Oh, for sure. It's not even debatable.
But speaking of Russell Wilson, it's time for This Week in Vegas, featuring Calvin Ridley, the master of gambling himself. So,
well, I think I can start with this week because I like the Falcons this week in Vegas. I'm going to be honest.
Really?
I like Calvin Ridley's home team. Yeah, I think they're home. They're against the Saints. The Saints have a new coach. We don't know what's happening with Alvin Kamara. We don't know what's happening with Michael Thomas. That defense is – we don't know. We don't know what's happening with Jameis. There's a lot of question marks. And the Falcons, I mean, they got some weapons. They got Marcus Mariota. They're going to be – I don't think they're going to be good, but they're going to be interesting. And they got 5.5 points at home week 1 against a questionable division rival.
I think you are completely and utterly wrong with that pick.
Wow. Coming from the Jules Bergen himself, I am hurt.
The Falcons
I am hurt.
Suck this year. The Saints got much better. They're going to have Michael Thomas back. They're going to have Olave from Ohio State. They're going to have
I don't think you're
Jarvis Landry. Kamara's healthy. I don't think he's been suspended for anything yet. Jameis is back. I mean, the Saints, and they hired internally. It's not like they're doing a whole new scheme for their head coach. And the Saints defense is pretty good. I don't see the Saints being a bad team at all this year. The Falcons, on the other hand, they have Drake London and Kyle Pitts and no one else on that offense. Nobody.
All right. Well,
you think Zacchaeus is going to burn anyone on the Saints secondary?
No, but they got Cordell Patterson out of the backfield. Mariota can use his legs.
Patterson,
they have a good coordinate. They have Arthur. We don't know much about Arthur Smith, but he had a good offense at Tennessee. I think it's going to be an interesting team, and I think in a chippy divisionally round matchup in week 1 at home, I think it's going to be close, and I think 5.5 points is a lot to give the Falcons here.
I think Saints by a touchdown is fair.
Yeah, so I'm 1 point off of your horrendous take.
No, Saints by at least a touchdown. I'm saying I don't think the Falcons cover. I don't think the Falcons are covering.
All right. Well, if I like a pick and you disagree, it's probably pretty good. If the audience does not know, Jules is a historically bad bettor. I've had him take locks for. He goes over. He's consistently over.
All right. Well,
what's your week in Vegas? I need to know what to fade.
My week in Vegas. Oh yeah, you do need to know what to fade. The Broncos -6 at the Seahawks, without a doubt, is my lock of the week. Russell Wilson and that insane Broncos lineup is going to Seattle for the Russell Wilson first game back on Monday Night Football. There is no chance that Russell Wilson does not absolutely tear up that defense. No way. I don't see any possible way the Seahawks win this game. If you really think Russell Wilson is going back to Seattle and not gonna perform well, I don't think at all I don't think the Seahawks have any chance at all.
I might fade it because it's your pick, but I can't argue it.
Damn
my
right.
Lock of the week.
We make good picks over here.
I think the Titans -5.5 against the Giants. I said it before. I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't like much of anything on that team. I think their best offensive playmaker besides Saquon is Kadarius Toney, and they almost traded him for nuts and bolts earlier this offseason. And yeah, I think the Titans are home. The Titans are not as good as last year, but they were the 1 seed last year in the AFC. The Giants had the 5th overall pick. I think the Giants got slightly better. I don't think they're whatever they were from last year better that they need to be. And I think this is going to be an absolute thumping in Tennessee.
I agree. I like that pick. I think the Titans easily win as well. My next pick is between two teams that ended the last regular season with a bang. Chargers and Raiders. Last year,
I would not touch that game.
That game was insane last year.
I would not put a penny on that game.
And that's fair to say. But I'm going to take the Chargers I'm going to take the Chargers -3 line, and here's why. If you look at that Chargers team,
because Brandon Staley's a good coach.
I don't think he's a good coach, but I think he's better than whatever I don't even know who's coaching. Oh, it's Josh McDaniels, I think. Right?
Yes.
I don't think it's going to come down to coaching. I think it's going to come down to talent. And when you compare the talent on the Chargers team versus the Raiders team, they just brought in J.C. Jackson. He is going to be the one guarding Devontae Adams in that game. If they can limit Devontae to 120 yards and a touchdown, which is a pretty dang good game, if they can limit him to that, I think the Chargers win the game because
there's no way that's a real statement.
But
then what happens when Renfro gets 80 yards and Waller gets 80 yards and 2 touchdowns and Josh Jacobs has 80 yards on the ground and Derek Carr's popping off?
I don't think Carr's going to have any time to throw the ball. You look at that offensive line, it is one of the bottom 5 offensive lines in the league, and you're putting that against Khalil Mack on one side and Joey Bosa on the other side. And some of my friends here and I have talked about this. I think Joey Bosa is setting up for a huge year this year because they can't double him anymore. You got to focus on everyone now. They are going to have such a difficult time giving Carr a chance to pass the ball. I think the Chargers defense is going to win that game because they're going to force pressures and they're going to force turnovers. And that's why I say the Chargers -3 line is fair. And you say home, Chargers have no fans in LA, but it's not on the road. It's not in a tougher place to play with the Raiders if the Raiders were home.
That's fair. All right, my final pick of the week. You're going to hate this. I love it. I got the Jags +3 against the Commanders. The Commanders are probably on fire right now at their practice facility. You know that meme that everything's fine with the dog and everything's lit on fire?
Mm-hmm.
It's that with Brian Robinson on crutches in the front. I think that team is going to be – I think it's going to be a mess. I think Carson Wentz is going to throw some picks. I think Terry's going to get jammed every play at the line.
Hey, tell me who on the Jaguars is going to intercept Carson Wentz? Can you name a single member of their secondary?
Yeah, well, I think Trayvon Walker and
Trayvon Walker's not in the secondary.
Get in the Packer. Yeah, I said Shaquille Griffin.
Shaquille Griffin is their number 1 corner. I think that says enough.
He's an above-average corner.
I think that says enough.
But the Commanders are not a good team. I don't see what your argument is.
I also don't think the Commanders are a good team. But they can beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars suck. I'm not going to completely hate on your pick because the Jaguars do have a history of winning Week 1 games. Like when they went 1-15.
Not only do the Jaguars have a history of winning Week 1 games, I think Doug Peterson's going to come prepared. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be prepared. I think they're going to be comfortable, and I think they're going to win the game.
I'm not so sure.
+3 is a little buffer. I think the Jags win that game Week 1.
I don't know. It's not a horrible pick. I'm not going to say it's a terrible pick because they're 2 horrible teams and it really could go either way. But I don't see the Commanders winning many games this year, and I think this is one that they've got a real shot at. I do think that it's very realistic they might win by 1 or 2 points and cover for the Jags. You said it's +3, right? I could see that happening, but I could see that happening, but I don't see the value is good.
I mean, even if the Jaguars do lose, I think it's kept close just for the fact that the Commanders aren't going to really score points. So I think +3 is a great bet. I think it could be easily a 3-point game and at least push at the very worst.
Okay. Fair enough. And then I've got one more pick for the week, and next week you guys will be able to see our records on here once we've got, some wins in the win column for Bergman and some losses in that section for Hannon. But I've got the Eagles -4 at the Lions. I know the Lions were on Hard Knocks.
That's a tough pick.
I know the Lions were on Hard Knocks. I know they're having this whole overhaul of the team this year. I still think the Eagles are a really good team, and I don't think this is the time for the Lions to cover. I don't see any way that Jared Goff gets past that defense. The Eagles have a good run defense. I was thinking about this earlier. The Eagles altogether, trying to find where I was writing down about this. Yeah, the Eagles have almost entirely an SEC built team. I went to their depth chart the other day and looked at everyone on the roster. It's like 3/4 SEC players, and of course that is the superior conference in football. But this Eagles team has a really good linebacking core. They have a really good defensive line. They have a really good secondary. Darius Slay and James Bradbury are out in the secondary there. And then I just don't think the Lions are going to be able to stop them on offense either. The Lions don't have two corners that are going to stop Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Of course, two SEC West receivers, as usual. So I don't think +4 is enough for the Lions. I've got the Eagles by 4 this game. Covering.
That's tough. I like the Eagles -4 too. I think that's risky. I think the Lions can get chippy and make it close. I really do.
Yeah, but knowing the Lions, even if they make it close, the Eagles are going to get like a last-second touchdown. If there was a close game, it would be Eagles win by last-second touchdown. And then it's like, oh, well, there's our cover because they won by a touchdown.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
well, we are on the hour.
That is what we've got. Perfectly an hour, pretty much. We're going to hopefully get some of those tech difficulties worked out. What was that?
First episode of Neutral Zone Reaction.
Yeah, Neutral Zone Reaction. We hope you guys enjoyed. It will be back next week. We'll figure out the date. It'll be after week 1, so we can, have more reaction and less prediction. But thank you all for joining. We really appreciate it. And that is all we've got for the week.
Alrighty, have a great week, y'all.